All right. Well, shalom, Kyle M. and the Great Homestead at Grandma Ginger's farm. Good morning to y'all. Heading down to, do what I always do in the morning, but I just felt the need to check in with y'all. And there's Grandma Ginger's farm said it exactly right. There's more than one storm coming. Um, but principally for us who live in the Midwest, hey, there is Chris Bulldog. Um, there's dire weather reports for this whole week. Some sort of death ridge coming out of the northwest and sweeping across our middle states. Not so much where I am, but definitely north of me. And I have people I care about who live in those areas. And so I'm slightly concerned. Hey, Aid, good morning to you. I did not have a cuppa this morning. It's getting too hot, but I have enjoyed having London fogs before this when it was cool in the morning. Just some Earl Grey, some local honey, and a bit of heavy cream all whipped together. It was pretty tasty. Um, and had an egg salad on croissant this morning for breakfast before I got started. And brought for the ducks some shells and also some leftover pea salad. For whatever reason, green peas make the ducks produce more eggs than not. And their little pond got refreshed last night. It looks muddy and yucky, but it was much lower. And since we're supposed to get rain all week, you can pray against bad weather. Yeah, it's me, I am. Just because of who I'm worried about and how severe these storm reports are. Definitely praying. Um, anyway, the with the rain that's coming, that little pond is going to get refreshed pretty much every day. As a matter of fact, it's supposed to start raining here in a couple of hours. So I brought these goodies for the ducks and I will put them out. Um, and then I will start talking to you guys like fully dedicated. So I'm going to just set the tripod down for a minute while I let them out because it's so noisy. They're just going to drown me out. Oh, and there's a, woo, whoa. Can you hear the plane going overhead also? There it is. You probably can't see it, but it's a plane flying overhead. If any of you have seen me live in my orchard before, you know, woo, in the winter, it is like totally bare. And if you, I know this is being unsteady for right now, guys, just bear with me while I get this taken care of. You can see all around me the greenery. You can see the trees have leaves. The only thing that's not super greened up down here is the soil where the ducks run around. I don't know if it's their little flat feet beating on it or if it's the way they run their bill over everything and look for yummies that keeps it. Might just be the sunlight in that part of the orchard too. Sorry, I'm sorry if that made anybody ill doing that. All right, so I'm gonna just set this. Uh, let's see. So you can see him. Hey, there's Lone Star living. So you can see him come flooding down here, and then I will read. I'm out of state storms. Yeah, I will read all your comments in a minute. I'm just going to leave the microphone right here and get these ducks sorted, and I will be right back. Oh, there I am. The tradesman. Hey, Abe, long time no see. Next week, I'm Yellowstone bound. Wow, that's going to be quite an adventure going to Yellowstone. I've never been myself, but it's a huge park with all sorts of natural, wonderful things. Truth Faction. Shalom from the Springfield, Missouri area. Shalom, Truth Faction. Aid is a moderator too, so if any of you misbehave, he can get you out of there. Mosby Man Ozarks just went by your place recently. Everything looking good. There's trying and doing. Excellent channel supporter and older woman, new to the walk, so she's still learning. Shalom SK. Good morning, Mad Kelt. What are you up to today? I'm out of state. Storms make me nervous when I'm so far from my family. Yeah, storms make me nervous out here too. Um, but my defense against that was to get educated about which storms, which clouds, which rain formations and everything actually could form tornadoes and which ones are just all show, no go. That really helped. So looking at the clouds helps me decide. And then once I can tell it's just a regular thunderstorm, I don't get so worried. And the other thing is there's channels out there like Ryan Hall, y'all, and many others. Fox News has a live weather channel. So much more reporting than there used to be on these kind of storms. And here, let me get the mic on me. And Doppler radar, man, I just love Doppler radar. If all of all the technology that we've had, including cell phones and online and everything, I love Doppler radar the most because you can actually see the storm and you can tell if the storm is, really going to be a threat for you. You can actually see the rotation in the storm, and most live people doing tornado reporting give plenty of warning for people to take whatever shelter they can. Um, so let me see how you guys are doing. Let me see what your comments are. If I can do this without getting my finger in the way. Lone Star Living is also a moderator. Said he can't stay long, got a work meeting to run to, may try and join back if you're still on. Okay. The tradesman said, hey to the Duttons for me, said Lone Star Living. Yeah, is it true? Is the show being canceled halfway through season 5 because of drama? I don't know. That would be kind of disappointing because it's got a pretty good following. Am I the only one that's trouble with the sound? I can hardly listen to Sister K. Well, can you guys hear me? I've got the mic on. It's doing better than it was. There's Kyle M. The volume changed. Maybe I can turn the volume up, Lamp Keeper. Maybe I don't have it turned up all the way. Yeah, it was turned down. Is that better? Can you hear me now? She's only listening in from halfway across the planet on the gorgeous Greek islands. I mean, what's not to like? Shalom, tradesman. Shalom, Sister Kate and Cruz, said Linda Hipple, long-time channel member and moderator. Linda is a very knowledgeable gardener. There are some very detailed weather apps for smartphones. I can see wind patterns and everything. Exactly right. There is J&N Olak. Shalom. Where are you coming in from? J&N? Getting ready to can more meat, said Mad Kelp. That is such a good idea. And I got another inspiration yesterday from someone, Homestead Australia, Homestead Oz, AUS, Lynn and Wayne. Wonderful people doing homesteading in Australia on a gorgeous farm. Excellent gardeners. And her last video was about a month ago. I guess maybe YouTube or possibly Australian um, censoring, whatever, I think put them on hold for a while, or they were not able to make videos or something. I don't know all the details, but her last video a month ago was canning broth for their dogs. And I thought, man, I should be doing that every time I'm cooking meat or parboiling it or whatever. there's always drippings and stuff. I should be canning broth for the dogs. It's such a smart idea. And also canning meat, especially when you can get the meat cheaply or you're butchering an animal yourself. You should definitely can meat. Such a great idea. All right, gotta go. Be back in a while, maybe. All right, shalom, Lone Star Living. Good to hear you. Sound is good here. Sounds more muffled than it did before you walked away. Interesting. Much better now. I did turn it up. Hey, NWA Prepper, sounds good here. So, NWA Prepper, what are you doing today prepping wise? And are you kind of on alert because of these storms? My husband's nose is Doppler. He sticks it out the door to tell me what kind of storm is coming. I don't doubt that if he's got experience. I mean, you can see in the air, you can feel a difference, the barometer as it drops and everything. Sound is better after you turn the volume up. Good. Donald Stadler, I've heard that the used operator is what they use to steer the weather. I seriously doubt that. I seriously doubt that. Um, the weather in America is pretty much according to the wind, and the wind is blowing generally west to east. So in our area, the storms always come from the south and west direction, southwest, because of the rotation of the earth. I mean, there's nothing man can do, I think, to to overcome the forces of the natural world around us. I think they can tweak things. I think they can, seed the clouds. That's been proven, but I don't know if they can steer the weather yet. We'll see. I live in the gorgeous mainland, SK. In my humble opinion, Greece mainland is better than the islands. Oh, it's a peninsula and full of history. Scotty John, shalom. I ordered your book from Barnes& and Noble. Linda, you are a smart woman. You were smart to hang out and see how it all played out. I did not have any idea how long all of this was going to take or how much of a pain in the rear end Amazon was going to be. Um, Obviously, I don't hate Amazon totally because I order stuff from Amazon and they do a good job delivering whatever I order to wherever I have it ordered. But this whole thing with the book is just frustrating. Luckily, Pastor had gone through it before with his book. And so he kept saying, yeah, well, yeah, they did do that. And yeah, well, for a while I recommended Barnes and Noble because Amazon hadn't gotten on board yet. And I think Barnes and Noble's deal is awesome. Like it's even better than the deal I gave you, where the shipping is free from Barnes and Noble, and the price is still right. The price is still what I set it at with my publisher. So they are just, I'm impressed as all get out. And and my daughter was impressed because she and my other kids, all my kids are love reading, love books, love going to stores like Barnes and Noble and browsing around, and that their parents' books are now in there. It's kind of, it's a little surreal for them, but they're happy for us. And yeah, so that was a very wise move on your part, Linda. And that's not me saying you were unwise to order it or pre-order it or anything. All of that, it's the same book. Um, and I'm trying to think. The people who pre-ordered it got it for $10, so they saved $3. That was a good deal for them. The people who got it for me got a signed copy. I'm trying to make this as user friendly as I can. So let me see what else you guys have to say. See you on Shabbat. Oh, we're lucky then. Yeah, awesome. He smells the storm coming. Thunderstorm brewing here in North Scotland. Norma, I have a question for you. Has Scotland ever gotten a tornado? Mrs. Hippie Hebrew, hello. We overwintered our small goats and sheep in one of our gardens. I'm wondering if we should till in the manure or just spread it out and leave it on top, and if we can plant in this year. That's a really good question, and I have not dealt with that situation before. The way I understand things is that goat and sheep manure is not like rabbit manure. You cannot just, you know, put it right on the garden like you can. It's supposedly it needs composting. So I would think if you just left it on top or maybe tried to rake it off to the sides into a pile or something so it can compost, that would be the wiser thing. But I really have not done it, so I can't tell you from experience. If you're worried about, yeah, sorry, distracted. If you're worried about it burning your plants, I will tell you this, corn can grow in fresh horse manure. So at the very least, you could do your whole garden in corn and it will eat up that nitrogen. Sorry, I don't have a better answer. Um, there's Bad Wabbit. Shalom. Thanks for supporting the channel. And look, a little cup of coffee thing. That is so cute. And a hand wavy thing. How are things going in your area, Bad Wabbit? So if we purchased a copy and happened to bump into you Sunday, would it be possible for you to sign it in that time? Yes, it absolutely would. And if you gave me donuts too, that would be that would be a bonus. Absolutely would love to personalize it for you. Um, there may have been a small one, very rare here. That's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I know Europe sometimes gets them, but it seems like a very American thing to have tornadoes come in your area. So it is important to know with those storms, and we can talk about anything. I will just run with the storm thing because that's what I titled it. If you want to talk about something else, that's fine too. It's really important to have adequate shelter with these storms. And I know advice for homes is go to the center of the building and, under a bathtub or something like that. And that is good advice if you have a normal built, not this modern construction that goes up in 3 months, but like a 1960s, 50s home with real walls made with real wood. Um, that's probably really good advice. But the best thing you can do if you're in a storm area is some kind of concrete shelter, preferably underground, or at least partially underground. You can buy these shelters from places like Lowe's and Home Depot, or if you have a basement in your house, that's the best place to be. The problem with a tornado is when you have 200-mile-an-hour winds, it absolutely, and you've seen, I'm rubbing my hands. I hope that's not affecting the sounds. I shouldn't do that. Um, it absolutely just rips apart things like Walmart buildings that are made with that steel construction. The what am I trying to say? The metal buildings are not built to withstand tornadoes. The and the roofs and everything blow off, and your trailer houses and your prefabbed already built homes, none of them are built to withstand a tornado. And 150-mile-an-hour wind is just going to tear that structure apart, and you're not going to survive that. So the best thing for you to do is have some kind of shelter. And I will give you the example of a man, I think he was in Texas, who lived in a trailer park, but he knew he was in a tornado area. And so he secretly cut a hole in his floor and dug a hole under his trailer. And I don't even think he had it concreted. I think it was just a hole he dug down in there, big enough for his family to fit into, and then some sort of door over top. And when a tornado came through, he and his family went down in that shelter, and everyone else in his um, trailer park, all their homes were destroyed, and many of those people were killed. So it is worth your time and effort to make sure your shelter is adequate. I'm pretty sure it's considered cold manure. The first 3 to 4 inches of ground probably have awesome microbes and enzymes. Growing in it would be great, said the tradesman. So there you go. We've been in bed sick for almost a month. This is actually the first day I'm out of bed and trying to get something done. Really put a crimp in our springtime work. What were you sick with? Do you think you got the Omicron? Because that's what I think we had in March, and it kind of took us out again without tilling it. I mean, okay, tradesman, you sound like you know what you're talking about. Like I said, I like to experience things, be able to talk about them, and I really haven't tried. We started our root cellar last year and finishing it this spring. We got a severe tornado last year that just missed us, and we don't have a basement or shelter from storms. So see, there you go, Mrs. Hippie Hebrew. You're an example of exactly what I'm talking about. Take the time to dig a hole in the ground and get some kind of, opening for it that is facing away from the way the storms come, so the wind doesn't just smack into it, and have your door open inward, not outward. Because if debris falls on it, you're not going to be able to push the debris off. So you want the door to come inward. If you're in an area where you need it, I mean, there's plenty of people who don't need it. Um, and then if Grandma Ginger's farm is still here, I would like to know what other storms she was talking about when she said there's more than one storm coming, because it seems like we are, the political situation is just getting weirder and weirder and stranger, and the invasion on our southern border is going to cause so much upset in that area. I just really feel badly for the citizens down there who are going to have to deal with all that. With, I can't imagine having strangers walking across in huge numbers, because the amount of people coming across that border is, more than our acreage can absorb. And I just can't imagine what that would be like. How would you deal with that? Because these people are going to trash your yard, maybe steal things from you. I mean, it's just, ah. Hey, Patty Sanchez, thanks for being a channel supporter, and shalom. Patty Sanchez, master gardener, excellent cook, sister in the faith, just a really, really nice human being. Got to spend time at the women's retreat. I did a video on that. She was there, bless her heart. Um, just really, really awesome. So what's up with you, Miss Patty? What's going on in your world? Are you having storm warnings too? And for you people who have already bought Homestead Hints, if you don't mind telling me your favorite part of the book, if you have one, just stick that as a comment up there too. All right, gonna wait a minute. Seems like a cool rainy day, but not too stormy. Awesome. Yeah, our daughter said there possible tornadoes up in y'all's area today. And of course, instant mom on, like, oh my gosh, keep your eye on the weather, keep your eye on the Doppler radar. Oh, I did want to let you know that you can see the Doppler radar for your area just by putting Doppler radar and your zip code. And then it should come up, and that will show you the severity of the storm and where it's going. And if you haven't ever tried it before, the storms show up in color. Usually there's a green border. That's the outside, and that's like the rain. And then there'll be red the next level in, and that is usually like where the lightning and thunder. And then if the middle part of it, of the storm, has blue or purple, especially purple with like a hook shape, that is possible tornadic activity. So if something's running through your area and it's just green and red, that's just a regular thunderstorm, nothing to be concerned about. Let's see your comment. Don't know what it was, maybe the video, whatever it was, knocked us for a loop. So far, we haven't had to worry about tornadoes, etc. How are you and Pastor doing? Oh, maybe the vid. Sorry, maybe the vid, whatever it was. It was probably Omicron. It's so easy to catch, and it aches and pains, lots of aches and pains. Um, you can still lose taste and smell, things like that. That's what we experienced. Let's see. Going to run duty calls. Thanks for the live. Thanks for stopping by. Be safe out there. My favorite part of Homestead Hints was the schedule. Yeah, I wondered about that, Lamp Keeper, because I don't know how many people have actually come across that. I think it's really helpful if you're going to be on a homestead to have a basic knowledge of how the year is going to run, because once you have that, and once you've done a homesteading year, you know what to expect. Then your next year should be a little bit easier. You don't have to keep planning. You can just basically use your same plan. Like, I know for a fact May 1st, yeah, they're running around all over the place. May 1st brings certain changes to the property. I mean, obviously, look at the greenery. Um, The toughest part is in the spring because when these trees have all their blossoms on them, that's when we usually get a late frost and like a horrible windy storm, and a lot of the blooms are just the wind blows them right off the tree. And as they go, I'm thinking, okay, there goes all the fruit for this year. It's really kind of upsetting to me, and I've got to figure out by next year a way to deal with that, because even putting covers on the trees hasn't stopped the blooms from falling off. So, but by May, we normally can plant things. You need to prune your trees and your fruit bearing vines and everything in February. All that it really just helps. I own two properties. One is in Tornado Alley, and one, hang on, is in Hurricane Lane. Wind is my nemesis. Like the wind is serious. If you're homesteading, you have to take it into account. If you don't, you wind up not being able to grow. In years past, ranchers farmers would keep a daily journal regarding everything from repairs to weather to loss of critters, types of harvest, just a daily journal. We've started doing that. We've done that on and off. We just get so busy that we don't always write it all down, because on a homestead like ours, where we have to do everything from scratch, or choose to do everything from scratch, there are so many things that go into a day that, one, sometimes we can't remember them all, and two, we're too busy or too tired at the end of that day to write them down. So I think it's a good idea. Um, for me, the experience itself has just kind of embedded itself in my mind. Another thing we were looking for and finally saw, because we were getting a little worried, is our fig trees are finally putting leaves on. And it's good for me to remember that figs in our area are a later summer ripening thing, not something like a pea that if I plant in February is going to be ripe now. Um, so yeah, I'm here for a few, said Westhold Forge. Hey, shalom, brother. How are you doing? I've seen you've been making stuff on your channel and your Instagram and things. I hope everything's going okay for you. I thrive in hyper organization. The graph made me happy. Well, there you go. Old Trapper, howdy, buddy. May the Lord bless all of you. Thank you for supporting the channel, Old Trapper, and thank you for the blessing from the Lord. That's trying to live in that every single day, and every single day I see the wisdom of it. Maybe a very large windbreak. Mother's Day is the new Good Friday for planting these days, right? D-neck. We've had a bumper strawberry crop and young peas are near first harvest. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, our strawberries had some fruit on them earlier, and I think a mouse got it. I don't have enough strawberry plants out. I should have more. And I did just order 10 or 20 of the bare root ones, and I do intend to get them up and running and, hopefully have more of a strawberry harvest. But to be real, I should have a much larger amount of strawberries. I should have a huge patch. And so that'll be something I'll think about and maybe get to later this summer, like get the patch set up and maybe transplant some of the running, what do they call them? The little baby strawberries, the runners, into the bigger area. Putting in rain catchment, awesome, always a smart move. I'm bringing a ram and a ewe back from 1,000 miles away, St. Croix Catadine mixes. Why are you going 1,000 miles away? Oh my gosh. I guess you want the bloodline. We are very happy with the Katahdins we got. They are doing a fantastic job of clearing parts of the property and not being a pain in the rear end. Let's just put it that way. We're very pleased with them. And they're shedding, so their wool is on the fences and in the bushes and the trees and everything. And I've actually gathered some to give to my grandchildren. Can you transplant strawberries? You can transplant anything. Hey, Lady Smith, I'm specifically talking about at the end of the summer, your mature plants are going to put out the runners and make the baby plants, and you can cut the runner and transplant that baby plant into another area. My God, this duck is filthy. What have you been doing, you little muddy duck? Yeah, Really been kicking myself that I don't have my gardens plowed up. We got an inch of rain last night. Very thankful it's dry around here. I find right after rain, one, rinsing my clothes, when I wash my hands, if I get the clothes out, then the rain rinses them for me. But two is a really good time to pull weeds because the ground is soft. And also to plant plants because the seeds do better in moist soil. I was always going, I was already going 1,000 miles away. I just figured tribe could use some good quality genetics, Dad. Oh, very kind of you. I purchased a flat of strawberry plants for 27 about a month ago. Awesome. I'm sure you've got them all in the ground too. Very thankful for the rain. Yeah, that's another thing you learn as a homesteader. I'm sure you guys have experienced it. Rain matters, sun matters, frost matters. Suddenly, you become a weatherman. And every day we're checking the weather to find out what's the temperature going to be, what's the humidity going to be, for how we're going to dress, but also what projects we're going to work on. Um, and something else, Pastor and I are now foresters because we live in the middle of a forest. And so the health of the trees, the spacing of the trees, the sunlight that reaches places that we want to grow, like this orchard. I should be doing some more pruning and cutting down of trees around the outside of this orchard to allow more sunlight into it. I've already done a little bit of that this year, but it all these things matter. We have hair sheep, American black belly, and I'm wondering if there's anything I can do with the hair. Absolutely, you can do with the hair what you can do with the longer um, fibered wool. A lot of people felt it. They get it a bit wet and press it, and then it'll hold together better. Uh, she's not on here right now, but Soapy Acres Farmstead, Homestead. She's the lady up in Canada. Makes little toys out of the felted wool. It's really cute. My uncle keeps pretty detailed weather records. My family are cattle farmers, and rain is life. That's exactly right. And it's also one reason I've got this heinous setup over here. I catch rain and it goes into those black containers. I used to have a piece of gutter up there, and I know just the way it's designed, you can't put a gutter underneath that roof right now. It's I would have to cut like 8 inches off the panels, and I don't want to do that. So I catch it in those bins, and then I pour it in this thing, and I've got over 200 gallons so far this year, and that 30-gallon, maybe 50-gallon trash can, and more of them behind it because I can catch rain on the other side. I'm doing all that rain catchment because drought last summer, everything I had stored, it didn't matter. I still ran out of water here, and I lost most of my blueberry bushes and the apple tree that used to be there. But the apples here don't do well anyway. We've got a blight and bugs that attack them. But I do have healthy pear trees, healthy cherry tree, and grapevines that are going crazy, and the blackberries in here. So rain is really, really important when, especially when you are not buying your water from like your city or your county, which we are not. We are catching our rain only. I don't want to sound if I'm complaining, but 3 weeks of almost nonstop rain, I think it is a bit too much. No? Right. 3 weeks of straight rain would be a lot. It's hard on the plants. They need the warmth and the sunlight. Um, too much rain can be just as bad as no rain. But 3 weeks of rain is really good for storing rainwater. And rainwater has a lot of nitrogen in it from lightning. So it's really good for your plants. And that is, that's my take on it. Any of you guys have a home weather station you'd recommend? Nope. I just watched Doppler radar. I put in my zip code and it shows you the storms for your area. And that's what I do. And then there's Ryan Hall Y'all. He does kind of nationwide. He's got that really it's a software app of some kind, storm watching. And then he's in contact with people on the ground who send in video and stuff like that. All right. Lady Smith, how are you? Haven't seen you in a while. We just got that one at Costco. All of us on the mountain have one. Oh, is it a weather station that you have at your house? I see what you're saying. Got to go do the work thing. Shalom. Yeah, that's going to be me here in a minute or two, y'all. Um, Everyone who lives in the Midwest states, just keep your eye on the weather this week. It's supposed to be kind of crazy, and have a plan. If you do not have adequate shelter, have a plan to leave your area until the storm is gone. Yes, there you go. Okay. We have radios that have weather stations on them, but we don't have a specific weather radio here. But it's smart the bad wabbit does. It's a good thing. All right. Looking around at everything I've got to do. Break us over. Back to chores. Thank you, Sister Kate and crew. Blessings. I love the ducks in the background. Ducks make me happy. They make me happy too. Pastor keeps saying, thank you, Bad Wabbit. Uh, they make me happy too, and that's why I have them. Pastor keeps asking because they're not the greatest egg layers. They are laying eggs right now. I could be saving them to put in the incubator, but I need to make sure I set a date to do the incubator, which I haven't done yet. And so some of them are eating eggs. Little rascal like this black one walking right now. She's an egg eater, and one of the brown ones is. And what I really need to do is separate them out. But yeah, they make me happy too. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any other questions or something, I'm going to get to my chores as well. I'm going to edit some videos, do a little maybe deleting videos on the channel, maybe paring the channel down a little bit. I don't know. I haven't had any time or have not spent any time just on a computer looking at the channel in general, like the photos and the comments. I read the duck eggs are better for baking, maybe a cake. Absolutely. They have more protein and more fat. So it makes your baked goods rise more to use duck eggs. Mustard in a hollow egg stops chickens eating eggs. All right, I will give that a try. I got plenty of all those things. I'm well, thanks. Started planting. Grateful to have steady, warmer temps to play in the dirt. Absolutely. Love your backdrop. Makes me happier too. Yeah, you can hear the birds singing. It's pretty nice. It's not commonplace. Here, I'll show you them eating. They're still wandering around over there. Yep, there's just something about it. Something about being outside in the fresh air. Yeah, very, very green here. That's what my daughter said too. Oh, Patty, before I go, I wanted to ask you your impression, your okay, Shalom Greek Homestead, your impression, your review, whatever, of the women's retreat. If there was anything that stood out to you, um, I don't know. I've already given my comments. I did a video on it. I just wanted to see it from your perspective. How do you know which are eating eggs? I'm suspecting an egg eater chicken, but not sure who's doing it. Best thing to do is sit there and watch them. I caught the one in the act. I caught her eating an egg the other day, and I threw a bucket at her and hit her in the head, and she left. But I'm sure she'll be right back to it. So yeah, you got to watch them. The one that went in the little shed behind me as soon as I had the video on is probably going in there to check for eggs to eat. Like they're pretty bold about it. Okay, maybe Patty's already left. Wait and see if she'll answer my question first. Oh, and I also saw a few of those plants that I've been trying to get rid of here on the mountain. So I was doing some weed pulling yesterday. I find it amazing how 50 women can get together and there is no drama. I love the fellowship and seeing the new women growing in their faith. Yeah, I think the new women there coming to learn and actually do and see is probably one of the most important things about the retreat, as well as people who've been in it for a while being able to get away and kind of relax and be with only other women. Um, but I agree with you on that. And no drama, a little bit of drama, but not with each other drama, you know, outside stuff. Well, I have to go back to my schedule. Have a blessed day and everybody stay safe. Okay, ladies, and gentlemen, I am going to go too. That is my cue. Thank you for answering my question. I hope you have a blessed day and everyone's safe. All right, see you later. Shalom. There we go. There we go.